Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast, another episode of the paper review. Today, we are going over night two of SummerSlam that went down last night. I am your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Rue on Wrestling.
Hi guys.
Rue didn't join me for the night one review. Neither did Stu. I did that one solo. Um, just couldn't get everybody on there for the night one. But here he is for night two. Um, and probably the more interesting night in my opinion. And the definitely the better night of the two nights um between on SummerSlam. So yeah, we're gonna be going over all the matches, all the winners, and breaking down our thoughts on everything that happened on night two. We had some very interesting things go down on night two that we're gonna be breaking down. Before we get into that, though, if you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. If you're on Spotify, make sure you hit the follow button. Leave your comment down below on Spotify as well. I always love hearing your opinions, whether you agree or disagree. I always love hearing it. Make sure you check out the Kayfabe Central website. I always post my live coverage on there. When I first started, I wasn't doing live coverage, but then I realized live coverage is much better to do than just posting it after. Um, so I do coverage for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, and all the pay per views and PLEs. Make sure you go check out the Discord if you want a place to just talk about wrestling. Go hit up the Discord server. If you want to help out on the monetary side of things, go check out the Kayfabe Central Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier, and I will be having a movie and TV show tier coming soon to that as well. Um, but yeah, that is all the self promo out of the way. Before we get into night two, though, Rue, did you want to give your quick thoughts and breakdown of night one?
Yeah, sure. Really fun night, as you mentioned. Both nights were great. I do agree. Night two was slightly better, but night one was great. Great opening match with Roman and Jay. Hope Braun Breaker's all right. What else happened? After being slightly critical and mean about her on the predictions podcast, I actually thought Jade Cargo and Tiffany was actually very good. So fair play to them. What else? Carrying Cross is done. Can't wait to see him in TNA. And, um, yeah, overall really fun. And yeah, that main event was insane. The only thing I didn't like about the main event, I didn't like the blood spot because I thought it was quite badly done. I don't know if it was just a bit of an accident, but like Goodford definitely didn't hit his head when he when he
Yeah.
when he hit the table. But apart from that, great result. It was cool to see Punk, and then yeah, they had me filled with Seth. Yeah, fair play WWE. They got me. They got a lot of people, and they're very interested to see what happens going forward. I'm pretty certain. I can't remember if it was yours, Stu. I think it was Stu, but it might have been yourself that said that Seth, if it was obviously, if he was going to be cashing in, he should do the whole chucking the crutches down.
Yep.
I
That
can't
was
remember.
me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which one of you said it, but I was like, yeah, you nailed that. Um, so yeah, overall, really fun night, and yeah, got me hyped for night two.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that Tiffany and Jade match is probably my biggest question mark of the weekend. Um, like what are they doing now? What was the point
I
in all of that?
I wonder if though I did think that was actually out of all the results we had, I still feel like that's probably one of the most shocking ones, which is quite strange. But
Yeah.
I I'm fine with it. We said it on the podcast because I don't particularly think Jade is ready, and potentially WWE might think that as well. They might have tried to put all their eggs in one basket with her with the Queen of the Ring, and I think the Queen of the Ring every single round was quite showing that she wasn't ready, and potentially WWE have thought that as well. It is, mate, as you said, I do agree. It's a bit weird where they go now, especially with Naomi going over to Raw. But I guess we'll just need to wait and see. But I was very shocked when I seen that result.
I'm still under the impression, and I will keep saying this until like the year ends. I still think that there's going to be a draft of some capacity, and that way we maybe swap Naomi and Tiffany. I
It
think that
makes
might be
sense.
the best option because I think they still want to, or we at least should, come back around to the whole Naomi, Jade, and Bianca thing.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
so yeah, I do think that there's still going to be a draft or at least some sort of shakeup to some capacity. Um, but yeah, so that was night one. Night two, 3 hour pre-show that meant nothing once again. Um, yeah, nothing happened. If you missed a pre-show, you didn't miss anything. They just talked, as always. Um, yeah, and watching this on YouTube was annoying because I had YouTube ads as well on top of the ads they already put in the kickoff. So I was like, okay, this is just draining me before we get to the actual show. Um, because I don't know, do they do the kickoff on Netflix? I don't think so.
No, just YouTube.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that was pointless once again. But then we moved on to the actual card. We kicked things off with the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Naomi defeating Io Sky and Rhea Ripley to retain the title. Good match between these three. Um, I don't know why, and this is me just like nitpicking a little bit. I kind of expected a little bit more from this match. Maybe my expectations were a little too high from the triple threat at WrestleMania with Bianca in it. Um, that might have been the reason. I don't think this triple threat like lived up to that triple threat at Mania, but it was still good. It was a solid showing. I expected Naomi to retain here. Not sure where they go with Rhea Ripley now, though. I did pitch the idea that they could put her into the Intercontinental title scene with Becky Lynch. I think that'd be pretty interesting and fresh for her. Or again, the draft. If they do a draft, you can send Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown. Um, and then like obviously she has Damian Priest over there as well. And then give her some fresh feuds also. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Um, yeah, Io Sky, I'm not sure though.
Yeah, it's I think you said it there. You said it was slightly nitpicky, but I do agree. I think um a lot of people might look at this match and they'll just automatically go like, "Oh, I know this match was rubbish because it wasn't as good as the Mania one." But like the Mania one was arguably one of the matches of the year. So I didn't think it was ever going to be, but I do agree. Like it wasn't as good, but it was still perfectly good to watch. All three women I thought were fantastic. Especially Rhea and Io, they're just ridiculous together. But yeah, I like what you said and suggested, and I even said it in my kind of preview video for Raw that if Rhea doesn't get drafted to SmackDown to kind of start a new kind of whole division there, which also I heard someone point out is kind of funny when you look at the top of the heel scene of the women's division on SmackDown because with Tiffany technically being babyface, even though it's very weird, surely the highest level heel on the women's division is like Chelsea Green or someone.
Yeah.
They need a bit more. Anyway, if they weren't to do that, I would really like to see Rhea in the Intercontinental title picture, especially with obviously we'll come to the match, so I guess spoilers, but obviously with Becky still being the champion. I think if Stu, I think mentioned it as well. You know, if they really wanted to add some pristine, I'll add even more pristine. I'll add sorry, because it's already a hell of a lot higher up on the card than the US title. But if they
Yeah.
really want to put some kind of steam behind it, Rhea and Becky, that's a WrestleMania match, but they're doing it for the mid card title. I'd be quite happy to see it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think Rhea Ripley is fine without a title. I don't think that she's someone the fans will turn on.
No.
She is so over that she doesn't necessarily always need that title to be over. And like she's gonna get support regardless. And I think this is fine for her. And yeah, that you can move her to the Intercontinental title picture.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely fine.
Um, so after that was the TLC match for the tag team championships. the Wyatt Six, Street Profits, Fraxiom, Andrade and Ray Fénix, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY. And I just want to point out this is just a me thing, but I thought this match was gonna be, if not kicking off the show, a little bit later in the show. And so the amount of times that I had to retype this entire match on the website, I was like, oh my goodness. So I just put the team names instead of the people that are in the tag teams. I'm like, they'll understand. Um, but yeah, it was the TLC match for the tag team titles, in which the Wyatt Six retained. Makes sense to me. They just won the tag titles and they want to build them up as, a team, like who's going to beat them kind of thing. But this match was everything I expected it to be and more. This was just absolutely chaotic as we expected. Some crazy spots, including one from Candice LeRae, where she fell onto a ladder. And when she fell onto that ladder, I was like, oh no, she definitely hurt something, her arm, her knee, or something like that. But she seemed fine on the post show conference, and which is really good. But yeah, that landing looked really bad. Um, but kudos to her for taking that bump. We had BFAB get involved to trying to help other Street Profits. We had Nikki Cross get involved, trying to help out the Wyatt Six. And it makes even more sense with the Wyatt Six winning because they had more numbers, right? They had Nikki Cross, they had Eric Rowan, and they had Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas there as well. So makes sense for the Wyatt Six to pick up the win in this match. And yeah, I just hope that they do something a little bit better with the Wyatt Six because I'm haven't been a huge fan of how they've been booking the Wyatts. But yeah, really good match.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, all over the place. Just it's like bad to say, like it's like what I expected, but I feel bad saying I would have been disappointed if it'd been any less. But just with the guys involved, this is exactly what you would have expected, and fair play to them all. It was a fair play to, I think you said, the likes of like Candice and all that. Some of the bumps she took was crazy. Was scared Ciampa was going to die when he did when he was hanging upside down. That was terrifying. Yeah, everyone looked really, really good here. I loved the four corner spot they did with each one doing a different move for the table. That was all really cool. But yeah, in the end, White's retaining. I would have preferred another team. I think we've spoken about it before in the podcast that the White Six, they don't need a title belt. So it was always the same with the Fiend and Bray Wyatt. I
Yeah.
don't think they need them. So I would have liked to see someone else. I probably would have. I would have actually been quite happy with any team in this to win this, other than the Wyatts. But I'm not going to let you get it nitpicking because the match itself was incredible. And fair play to every guy involved, like and every girl involved as well. It was very very fun.
Yeah, 100%. Johnny Gargano put out a funny tweet earlier today, saying he didn't sleep on the couch, but it's because they were in a hotel room and they had to share a bed. Um, so I found that pretty funny. Um, it's good to see that Candice is okay after taking that bump.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was the TLC match for the tag team championships. Really, really good match. So the match that followed, I thought that we were gonna get um I thought we were gonna get Dom versus AJ in this next match. Because the next match was the women's Intercontinental Championship match, which was no DQ, no count out. And I found it weird because we started with a triple threat match, which is obviously no disqualification, then the TLC match, and then a no DQ, no count out match. I'm like, okay, I mean, you couldn't have separated a little bit. Um, and then like the match that followed after was also no DQ. We'll get into that. But this match was Becky Lynch defeating Lyra Valkyria to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Actually, a better match than I was expecting. They did their thing. They both look great. I am a little iffy on the end though of this match. It ended with Bailey coming out and being torn between if she should hit Lyra with the crowbar or not, and then she decides not to. But then towards the end of the match, she accidentally hits Lyra with a was it a chain?
Ye- What did you let her off again? No, it was the crowbar she hit with.
Was it the crowbar?
Oh, I've completely forgotten.
I think I might have been a chain that she hit Lyra with by accident, and Becky picked up the win. A little bit iffy on that ending. But now Lyra Valkyria can't challenge for the Women's Intercontinental title anymore as long as Becky's the champion, which is perfectly fine with me. I am tired of this feud. I think this feud should have ended a long time ago. Um, but yeah, made Lyra can go on to better things. Not sure what yet, but I'm sure they probably have plans for her. Probably going to go into a feud with Bailey. Um, Even that, I'm not too sure on how I feel about that feud. I feel like it's just going to be feel the same as the Becky and Lyra feud. It's just going to go on and on. One of them is going to turn heel. But yeah, Becky Lynch retained.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think the match was fun. It wasn't as strong as some of the other ones, but I think it was because it kind of I don't want to use the word. It wasn't sloppy, but some things did kind of go wrong, like the whole cable tie situation, and Lyra clearly had to go under the ring and get a ring crew to cut it open for her.
Yeah.
Um, so that's just it's one of those things. That's what happens when you try to use a gimmick match. Stuff does go wrong. But I mean, again, as you said, fun match, and in the end, I think it was the right winner in Becky. Um, as we mentioned earlier, I would quite like to go her to go on and face the likes of Rhea. We mentioned it earlier, like EO as well. Like I would quite happily see that. Bailey, Lyra, as you said, I'm not that interested in it unless it leads to a Lyra heel turn. Which even at that, I just kind of want the heel turn and then move on. Like
Yeah.
I don't want a massive feud from it. But I mean, overall, again, I think it was as you said, it was fun. But just a bit of an iffy ending. I it will only be extra questionable if Lyra doesn't. I would assume this is setting up for Lyra to turn heel, but we'll have to wait and see because we really don't know. But yeah, as you said though, good match. Excited to see what goes forward with Becky, and obviously it is good that Lyra can no longer challenge for it, so that kind of takes her out of the picture as well. So yeah, happy to see what happens there.
It makes sense for Lyra to be the one that turns heel
Yeah,
because she got screwed over multiple times. If it's Bailey that turns heel, I'm curious as to how they'd explain that. Um,
exactly.
yeah, so I think Lyra will be the one to turn heel eventually. Don't know how that'll look, Lyra as a heel, because I think she's been a baby face since she got to the company. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm not really sure on how that would look. And yeah, like you said, I'm in total agreement. I have no interest in a Bailey and Lyra feud. But it's probably what we're gonna end up getting. Um, so following that was another no DQ match. Technically, it was a steel cage match for the United States Championship. It was Solo Sikoa defeating Jacob Fatu. He to retain the title. He won by um, crawling out of the door. Now, this was fine in terms of the match itself. It's what happened after the match where I was like, okay. Like some of this felt like it could have just been on SmackDown. And the match felt pay-per-view worthy. They did their thing in the steel cage. We eventually obviously had the MFTs come out. Then we had Jimmy Uso come out to try and make the save. Um, the match ended by Talatonga slamming the door on um, Jacob's head and Solo's head. Um, but Solo just crawled out of the ring and cost Jacob Fatu the match. After the match, though, Jacob Fatu had Tongaloa and JC Mateo in the cage, locked them in the cage, and then delivered a moonsault from the top of the cage onto both of them, that is something I feel like would be on SmackDown. And I was like, okay, I don't fully know if this is SummerSlam worthy, but you have Jacob Fatu having his SummerSlam moment, doing the moonsault off the cage. I get it to that extent. Um, Yeah, hopefully we're done with this feud now. I don't think that this feud should continue. Jacob Fatu should go on to something else. He is extremely over, and you need to capitalize on that. And I don't think doing this longer with Solo is capitalizing on it. He doesn't need that U.S. title to be over right now. He's over enough as is.
Yeah, as you said, I think the whole point of having this match on the card was for that, as you pointed out, the SummerSlam moment. I think Cole said it on commentary that it was the first steel cage match at SummerSlam since like 2001, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, so I think they really did just use this match for that moment for Jacob to hit the moonsault, which he nailed. So fair play to him. Though he nailed it, but he absolutely nailed Tango Low on the head with his knee.
Oh
I hope
yeah.
Tangelo, yeah, I hope Tangelo's all right. But yeah, there's not nothing to say about the match. Like the Jacob and Solo matches, the way I find them, like they're not bad by any means. They're just like not the most interesting. I said it was perfectly fine. And in the end, yeah, once again, someone using the door to escape. Jesse Ventura will be having a aneurysm learning about that. But yeah, I agree. I'm happy for Solo to retain. That's the right decision. I think he's doing great things right now. His character's as best it's ever been, and yeah, hopefully this kind of moves Jacob on and upwards up the card because that's where he deserves to be.
I think Solo winning by walking or like crawling out of the door worked for him. And
Yeah,
as a heel, you shouldn't climb out of the cage. You should find the most sneaky way to win the match. The babyface should climb out of the cage. And like I've always liked that idea and that concept of the babyface climbing out of the cage and winning. Um, but if you're a heel, especially a heel to Solo's extent, where you find any kind of way to win the match, going out of the door is the perfect way for a Solo to win this match, and I think it worked perfectly for him.
yeah, no, I totally agree.
Following that was then the Intercontinental Championship match: Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Dominik defeated AJ to retain the title. Um, the entrances were pretty cool. Dominik Mysterio had a tribute to Rey Mysterio Sr. in his entrance with the mask. Um, and then AJ Styles came out in a lowrider and Eddie Guerrero gear. So I found that pretty cool. And then he also had his son in the car as well. In terms of the match, it was it was fine. And I don't know if it's because of everything else that happened on the card. To me, this was the most forgettable match of the night. Nothing really extravagant happened in this match. It was just a match, and then Dominik Mysterio did the whole boot thing where he loosened the boot and used it to his advantage to win the match, hit the frog splash, and won to retain. Other than that, though, to me, probably the most forgettable match of the night, but still not a bad match.
Yeah, I think so. I think they had a hard place with being on a card where everything else was stipulation of some kind. Just having a straight one-on-one match. I think this match was more, and you mentioned at the beginning, it was more, it was weird. It almost had its own gimmick. It was the Eddie Guerrero tribute match. That's what they may as well called it.
Yeah.
Um, which, you know what, I did a little bit to, I actually didn't even realize because time is scary. I completely forgot about the fact also it will be this year or this November, it'll be 20 years since Eddie passed, which is terrifying. I remember when it happened, which is scary to think about. But I mean, AJ and Dom, as you said, in ring wise, it was nothing to massively write home about. I don't think I expected it to really be. But I think the spots were fun. Always get your free amigos bit. You get the chair on passing over. We had the Angle and Eddie from WrestleMania 20 spot, obviously as you mentioned with the boot, which was all fun and games. And yeah, in the end, though, I think at the minute, right decision with Dom to retain, and hopefully he can take that belt down to Triple A with him and show it off, and he actually gets some wrestling time. It'll be good for Dom, and then yeah, going forward, I'd like to see AJ go over to TNA, do some stuff there, and then obviously we can come back around with Dom and hopefully maybe get this. this Finn Balor feud because I'm not that interested in this Finn Balor feud, but it's inevitable that it's going to happen. So I kind of just want it to happen and get it out the way with.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's what I'm assuming we're going forward.
Yeah, I agree. That Dom and Finn feud needs to happen very soon. I know Finn is currently holding the tag titles with JD.
Yep.
I don't know how long they're going to be holding those titles for, but I assume like right when they lose, maybe Dom is the reason they lose those tag titles, and that's ignites the feud or something like that. Um, but yeah, I think Dominic Mysterio rotating is the perfect decision. He's doing well with that title. And yeah, he could, like you said, he could take it to over to AAA, show it off, and just be himself. And he's doing a great job with that IC title.
Yep.
Then we had the main event, the straight fight for the undisputed champion WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Cody Rhodes defeated John Cena to win the title. Um, Obviously, there was, in terms of the match itself, there was a lot of people that were complaining about this match. And they were complaining because of the amount of kickouts that we had in this match. And I can't fully blame them for complaining about that
Yeah.
because we had John Cena kick out of the same move that won Cody that title in the first place, which was the trifecta of Crossroads. And then we had Cody kick out of an Avalanche AA. So when that happened, I was like, oh my goodness, like these guys are gonna fight forever. Um and then Cody eventually hit another Crossroads. He hit something before that. Um he did something significant before that, before he hit the Crossroads, and I'm forgetting what it was.
Just before or after the pile driver, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. Was it the pile driver?
It could well have been. I can't actually remember now.
Um, no, because I believe Cena kicked out of the pile driver.
He did. Oh, he did. Yeah, no, he did.
Yeah.
What did he hit him with?
Um.
Hit him with a move.
Oh, it was I believe it was the thing from the bottom rope that he took off, and he kept
Oh,
hitting Cena with it.
yeah.
Um, which is very innovative. I think that's only been done a couple times in wrestling. Um, but yeah, Cody hit him with like he took the bottom rope completely off and started hitting Cena with the metal part of it. And they were telling the story of Cody wanted Cena to just stay down and the ref to call the match. Um, but Cody kept hitting him with it, then hit the Crossroads and won the title. Cody Rhodes is now your new WWE champion. He's a two-time champion now. Um, a good match, honestly. A
Oh,
much
yeah.
better match than I was expecting. Um, yeah, good match. And like, I'll let you talk about the match before we get into what happened after.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I totally agree. Compared to the WrestleMania match in night and day, it's almost as if when you don't have an overarching authority figure butting their head and try to change everything and just let the two wrestlers go out and wrestle, it can actually be really fun. Um, so yeah, as you said, fantastic match. It was great to see Cena. I said they didn't do all of it because they'd already done the face turn on SmackDown. They didn't obviously need to do the kind of Rock Hogan-esque turn during the match. Obviously, there was a lot more cheers for Cena as there were boos for Cody.
Yeah.
But I think they expected that. But it was so cool to see Jordan coming out, and then he got his Titantron back, and it's a thing that it's quite funny because I agree and can totally see why people would be annoyed at the finisher kick out stuff. Because I mean, we talk about it; it's always the trope with AEW and all that.
Yeah.
The only bit in kayfabe here, which is so stupid, I know, but I did enjoy, is the fact that we got Super Cena back, and that was the one that I did enjoy with the kickouts. Because then everyone started chanting for Super Cena. As dumb as it is, so I'm not even going to try to defend it because it's very stupid.
Yeah.
But there was part of me that was smiling when watching it, being like, "Oh, it's like watching." We all complained about 2011 John Cena, but it was also kind of like watching 2011 John Cena again.
Yeah.
Um, which I did enjoy. But yeah, overall, fantastic match. I think the street fight was a great element to add to the match. I mean, that visual as well of Cena and Cody going underneath the ramp and Cena coming up is was incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, I love that. But yeah, big fan. And in the end, Cody getting it, I think, for the meantime, is the right decision. Obviously, just we need to see where they go with it. Because obviously, it's terrifying to say, but we've only got what 3 4 months of Cena left. Um, we need to, and so we need to move forward. Obviously, with his wrapping up of his retirement tour without the WWE Championship. So I'm excited to see what they do with Cody now. It is again a bit strange. I think SmackDown's in a weird place with both its like top male and female talent. Of we need to try and find where this next heel is, where the main event heel is. I mean, on SmackDown it should be Drew McIntyre, and I mean it probably will be after. Obviously, he did actually. Him and Logan did win. I still just wasn't too happy with the match, but I'm intrigued to see where Cody goes going forward. But yeah, hell of a match, and yeah, it was way better than I was expecting.
Yeah. Before we talk about what happened after, I do have to create a new meeting because we're not going to get through that in 7 minutes. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. So yeah, that was Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Pretty good match. A lot of cool moments, a lot of kickouts. Um, After the match, Cody leaves the ring to Cena. Cena's in the ring. We get a thank you, Cena chant. Cena looks like he's about to leave the ring, and then Brock Lesnar comes out. To everybody's surprise, Brock Lesnar shows up. Um, I'd be lying if I said I didn't pop because I was just in complete shock
Mm-hmm.
that I heard that music because I never thought I'd hear that music again. And so Brock Lesnar comes out, delivers an F5 to John Cena, and then SummerSlam goes off the air. Um, Now I can't after calming down after popping, I can't fully support the idea of Brock Lesnar being back in the WWE. And Brock Lesnar has been gone for 2 years, and we all know why he's been gone. And um, that is the reason I can't fully support him being back because there was nothing ever cleared about his name in that case. And um, I put out a post earlier on X and Instagram of the person, Janelle Grant, I believe is her name. Her attorney, her representative, put out a message, and I'll actually read the message out. Um, he pretty much said, for far too long, abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership. Instead of righting this wrong, WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in a court of law where they belong. But in the meantime, we refer you back to Janelle Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in the detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed at WWE. So that just told me that Lesnar's name definitely wasn't cleared, and WWE brought him back anyway. Now, I have not been a fan of the political things that WWE has done recently. I have not liked it at all, and I've been very clear about that on the podcast. Um, like Rue, you weren't here on the headlines of the week when I went off on WWE for doing some of the things that they've been doing. Um, but yeah, not a fan of it at all. And this just makes me think that they'd bring back the likes of like Alberto Del Rio and things of that nature. Um, the WWE is not like an evil corporation, but it's thinning that line. It's like right there on the line of evil because you bring somebody like Brock Lesnar back, you're gonna get backlash. And you're going to continue to get backlash from a lot of people, including myself, um, because bringing somebody like that back when not yet being proved innocent is just not a good look at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to get into this. Yeah, it's. I think you mentioned the word at the start. It was just sheer shock when it happened, and I need to get a rant out of my system quickly because before this I was sitting replying to some comments on TikTok. But man, see the sheer lack of intelligence of some wrestling fans on TikTok. By the way, I was like, as you said, it was the just absolute and utter disbelief shock of it happening. So I put out my reaction to my live reaction last night of that Brock Lesnar coming out, and I'm just sat there stunned. See the amount of people that have been like, "Oh my God, this guy doesn't know who Lesnar is. What a clown!" I'm like, look at my page. It's literally called Raw on Wrestling. Like if you actually did any form of background research or looked into it rather than just you know, oh, I must comment. You would like saying like, oh, I don't know who Lesnar is a ridiculous statement, but that's how I felt. Like you said, it was just sheer shock in the moment. I was like, holy shit, because I would have never bet in a million years that they would ever touch Lesnar again. And as you said, whether or not, and I'm not here to discuss or throw around accusations of whether he's innocent or guilty. Um, But no matter what, I think it's a hell of a statement to make. It's a very questionable statement to make on even wanting to use them at all. Uh, it's just I mean it's the fact that whilst the court case is still ongoing, I am very shocked. I'm not even that interested in seeing Lesnar, even if this court case wasn't ongoing. I think they have more than enough big players in the division right now to play off of. So yeah, it's an interesting statement from WWE to say the least. I think the fact that they cancelled the press conference after it is a very telling sign because they knew they were going to get questions about Lesnar.
Yeah.
Um, but as you said, I mean, you can see from my video, I would be lying if I didn't say that when obviously I did hear the music, I did pop inside. I was like, holy crap, because that's what wrestling is to me. It's why we're all fans of it. It's that surprise factor making you feel something. But once you start to think about it and question it, it starts to go a bit like, oh, maybe this wasn't the best decision. And I think you mentioned it. I think WWE have been doing that a lot recently. So it's an awkward one. It's a very awkward one to touch. And I'll try to take the what's the word? Let's try to take the kind of political and awkward side of it, put it to the side right now of Brock being back. I mean, Brock with Cena clearly, yes, Brock is one of Cena's biggest rivals. If nothing had been going on, is it something that we should probably see in the retirement tour? I mean, sure, for a one-off match. I just think with the landscape of everything that's ongoing right now, it is a questionable decision. And again, as well, in typical TikTok fashion, getting called snowflake and everything for saying that it's a interesting statement. But that's what I'm letting everyone just argue my comments right now. It's quite funny. Everyone's just going off on each other. But yeah, it was no matter what, it was a hell of a shocking return. That's the bare minimum of what I can say.
Probably the most controversial return in recent history as well.
Yep.
Like we thought CM Punk returning was controversial. No,
Yeah.
this is a different level. And like obviously I'm not here to pin anything on anybody, but the fact is, and like I try my best to separate the political realm of things and the wrestling realm of things, but WWE makes it really fucking hard. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah.
really hard when they do things like this. Um and the fact that his name hasn't been cleared yet pops that question. And again, like you said, they canceled the press conference with all the media. And it seems like that might be a thing that they're going to continue to do. Um, which also is not a good look for them at all. Um, but it is what it is. Brock Lesnar's back. Um, I'm not fully going to support it, like I said. Um, but it does look like we're gonna get Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at probably Clash in Paris, I'd assume. Um, yeah, because Cena is scheduled for Clash in Paris, so that's probably what we're gonna get there. Um, yeah, I guess, like you said, putting the political things aside, in kayfabe, it makes sense for Cena and Lesnar to have one last match, because of that history there, and Cena saying that Brock was his toughest rival. Um, but yeah, Brock Lesnar is back in the WWE, and I know Cena is scheduled for this coming SmackDown on Friday. So I don't know if we're going to get anything regarding Lesnar on Raw tonight, or if we're just going to have to wait till SmackDown to see if something happens there. But yeah, that was SummerSlam night 2. Let us know what you guys thought of it. Like I said, definitely the better night of the two nights. And as I mentioned at the start, the biggest question mark out of this weekend is the Tiffany Stratton thing. Where are they going with that? And what was the point in Jade winning Queen of the Ring and all that stuff? Like Rue, you mentioned it just seemed like Jade isn't ready, and I guess WWE realized that maybe a little too late. Um, but yeah, let us know what you guys thought, and whether you agree or disagree. I always love hearing it. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Follow me on Spotify and leave your comments over there if you're listening on Spotify. If you want to help out on the monetary side of things, make sure you subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum for the exclusive wrestling content here. Also, hit up the Discord server if you're interested in just chatting about wrestling, and throwing in random takes and predictions and all that good stuff. And also go check out the Kayfabe Central website where I do all my coverage on there. I also post all of my articles on there as well. So keep a lookout for that. And yeah, that was SummerSlam 2025. Do you have any final comments or thoughts?
I mean, overall, weekend was brilliant. I think all the talent smashed it. Had some really fun matches. A couple of questionable ones, but they weren't even that bad. Just maybe some questionable booking. Cough, cough. Sammy and Cross. But
Yeah.
but overall, fun weekend. Some lot of surprises. A lot of very unexpected things happen. I said, Brock and Seth and all that. It's exciting to see going forward. I think as well with the Brock thing, it will be interesting to see if this is Brock back, or if this is just a one off with him and Cena. That will remain to be seen. And I guess we'll find out over the coming weeks. But yeah, I mean, actually, WWE is in such a weird place. They're currently doing the TNA thing from a couple of years ago, where they do something really really good, and then they go and oh lol WWE it in certain other aspects. So it is hard, like you said. In a minute, it is hard to fully support WWE in some of their decisions that they make. But hell, it's what we got used to now. I've been watching it for 20 plus years. It's not it hasn't changed too much. So oh
Yeah.
well, but great weekend of wrestling either way.
Yeah. And next year SummerSlam is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And man, I'm kind of like blaming myself for this now because when they announced that, I'm like, oh, it's a shame that Brock won't be there for that.
Oh god.
Um, well, he probably will be now. So,
We'll wait and see.
yeah, I guess that makes sense as to why they announced it for Minneapolis next year. I assume maybe SummerSlam 2026 is going to be Brock's retirement match. Um, yeah, but that was SummerSlam 2025. We have Monday Night Raw tonight. Going to be doing coverage for that. Just wrestling just never ends. Just keeps on going. Um, yeah, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. Not sure when it'll be. Probably the headlines of the week. But I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.